You be slowing down, I be like underlay. Act a good and faithful servant, yeah, you want a gang. And I was in the gutter, was a runaway. And I was born again. I got another name. And he said it was finished, but I run the race. When he took his final breath, that's when the thunder came. Hey, I got the blood of Jesus, he won't shut the gate. Hey, and you thought it was over, man, but summer came. Hey, and life will throw you pieces, it's a puzzle game. Hey, give your life to the Lord, it's not a set of game. Hey, and I can feel the pressure, but you know I won't cave. And I can feel the stress, I'm guessing I just won't sway. I'm pressing towards the mark, and yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. And I can feel the pressure, but you know I won't cave. And I can feel the stress, I'm guessing I just won't sway. I'm pressing towards the mark, and yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. And I'm feeling them image like a running back, ayy. Won't you run it back, ayy? You think you run your life, you only run a trap, ayy. And you think you are active, won't you cut the crap, ayy? My president is white, but yeah, my gun is back, ayy. Keep it tucked in if you want it, won't you come attack, ayy? You want it, come and gun me, I will gun you back, ayy. Just a couple, get it done and send you running back, ayy. And I can show you hits, just let me run my knack, ayy. Take a beat and yeah, treat it like a punching bag, ayy. Jesus, he is coming back, hey. He don't play with sin because he done with that, hey. And you just think you hustling for the money back, hey. You run it in a circle, doing jumping jacks, hey. You stacking up your sin just like you run a tap, hey. You think that you won't slide, but he gon' punish that, hey. And I can feel the pressure, but you know I won't cave. And I can feel the stress, I'm guessing I just won't sway. I'm pressing towards the mark, and yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. And I can feel the pressure, but you know I won't cave. And I can feel the stress, I'm guessing I just won't sway. I'm pressing towards the mark, and yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. And I was in the pit, that's when my side changed. The price upon my life, it was a highway. And I could hear the calling, it was my name. I made it while you looking at me sideways, hey. Give your life to Christ and watch the time change, hey. You in the past be flexing on the MySpace, hey. Hey, you should see my wife, she is a dime bag, hey. Find a wife, you find a good thing, what the Bible say, hey. And if you got the stamp, you got the right away, hey. They pierce aside the blood was flowing like a tidal wave, hey. Why wait? Lift your head, become as bright today, hey. Why straight? Trust me, you can always find a way, hey. And I am clean as blood, take care of my stain, hey. I'm getting paid like every day is Friday, hey. And I could die tomorrow, I'll just die today, hey. Can't wait to hear the trumpet calling fire away, hey. And I can feel the pressure, but you know I won't cave. And I can feel the stress, I'm guessing I just won't sway. I'm pressing towards the mark, and yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. And I can feel the pressure, but you know I won't cave. And I can feel the stress, I'm guessing I just won't sway. I'm pressing towards the mark, and yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. No, I won't cave. And I just won't sway. Yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. And I can feel the pressure, but you know I won't cave. And I can feel the stress, I'm guessing I just won't sway. I'm pressing towards the mark, and yeah, I do this all day. And you can take the broad, but I'ma take the small way. No, I won't cave. No, I won't sway. What is this? Well, this is the JS Urban Adventure Morning Bible Study. What do you mean, what is this? It's the best Bible study this side of heaven. With me. Where are you going, Echo? JS, the dreaded conservative. Hi, Marilyn. Wow. Wow. Oh, shoot. I just closed the chat. Hold up. We're still live. Hold on. Oh, it's not over yet. Just wait. Okay, what are we at today? We are on Second Chronicles 26. We'll probably hit 26 through 31. So we're going to cover King Uzziah, Ahaz, and Jotham, or Jotham. That's what we're doing today. I think Uzziah is based. Ahaz and Jotham, not so much, if I remember correctly. And then tomorrow we can finish Second Chronicles. And finally, we're out of the friggin' histories of the kingdoms, the Torah. We can move on to the prophets and the books of wisdom. Finally. It's been a while. It's only taken February, March, April, May, June, July, August. It's only taken 7 months. But we're finally going to be out of the history of ancient Israel, and we're going to get to read about the prophets and the books of wisdom. Hallelujah. Although a lot of the prophets do repeat a lot of the stuff that we've been reading about for a long time. But at least it changes up in style, you know? Because you got the Torah from Moses, and then Joshua, Judges, Ruth is a little bit different, but First and Second Samuel, First and Second Kings, First and Second Chronicles, all of that is all pretty much Nathan and Gad, similar style writing, a lot of genealogies, a lot of just the history of the monarchy of Israel and the pre-monarchy and the theocracy, the pre-judges theocracy, and then the post-judges monarchy. But it's all similar writing. Nathan, Gad, Moses. But once we get to Ezra and Nehemiah, Psalms, Job, Proverbs, Isaiah, Jeremiah, then it changes up. We get wisdom and prophecy instead of the history of Israel. So it's going to be nice to get out of Chronicles. It's going to be a bit of a change. It'll be a nice change up. So, that said, let's continue and let's get this done with. There's 10 chapters. It's 10 o'clock. I'm not going to have time to get it through all today. Unless they're small chapters, maybe we can bust this all out today. But I did kind of want to save Hezekiah for tomorrow, because Hezekiah is one of the most based kings, and he's the last good king that does good in the eyes of God before Israel gets conquered by Egypt and then Babylon. But Hezekiah was based. Uzziah is not so bad. He has a prosperous reign. I don't know if he's necessarily good, but he has a prosperous reign. So that's where we're starting. Yesterday we read about the kingdom has been separated. Well, the kingdom has been separated since Solomon, but Joash and Ahaziah, I believe. Was it Joash and Amaziah? Joash and Amaziah went to battle. The north and the south, east side, west side, the Crips and the Bloods, Judah and Israel went to battle. Now things have calmed down a bit. Enter Uzziah, chapter 26. Then all the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the room of his father Amaziah. He built Eloth and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his fathers. He did. 16 years old was Uzziah. Maryland, that doesn't mean he had sex with his fathers, okay? That means he died. That's what it means when it says he slept with his fathers. Just so you know. Because you'd be making some... I was listening on Abe's channel there. You'd be making some crazy interpretations. All right. 16-year-old... I already read that. Did I? Oh, no, it's repeating it. 16 years old was Uzziah when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Jecholiah of Jerusalem, and he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Let's go, Uzziah. Most of them don't do right in the eyes of the Lord. Most of them do very wrong in the eyes of the Lord. So continuing with the theme that we've been doing for the last long list of kings, let's see if it mentions how many wives Uzziah had, because Uzziah did right in the sight of the Lord. Let's see, because I want to be proven wrong. If I get proven wrong, I'll concede. Up, there it is. You know, there was the prophet. He had 2 wives, and it said that he was a good man. My interpretations are never looking for foul thoughts. I don't know what that means, but anyway, Jecholiah, that's a cool name. Could you imagine naming your daughter Jecholiah? Jecholiah, get over here. What'd you call her? Jecholiah? What would you call her for short? Liah? Jecho? Jekko? Jek? Anyway, he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaziah did. I thought Amaziah... Oh, no. Joash was the bad guy. Amaziah was all right, but they went to war anyway. And he sought God in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding in the visions of God. I wonder if that's the Zechariah from the book Zechariah. Probably. And as long as he sought the Lord, God made him to prosper. Prosperity gospel preachers probably love that verse. And he went forth and warred against the Philistines and brake down the wall of Gath and the wall of Jabneth and the wall of Ashdod and built cities about Ashdod and among the Philistines. And God helped him against the Philistines and against the Arabians that dwelt in Gur-baal and the Mehunims. And the Amorites gave gifts to Uzziah. Amorites given gifts, and his name spread abroad, even to the entering in of Egypt. For he strengthened himself exceedingly. Moreover, Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate, and at the valley gate, and at the turning of the wall, and fortified them. Also he built towers in the desert, and digged many wells. For he had much cattle, both in the low country and in the plains. Husbandmen also, and vine dressers in the mountains, and in Carmel, for he loved husbandry. Husbandry. What is husbandry? Husbandry. I could look it up in the Strongs, but I'm not trying to find the Greek. I'm just trying to find what the word means. I mean the Hebrew. Husbandry. Husbandry. You got a husband? Husbandry. The care, cultivation, and breeding of crops. So farmers. But why do they say farmers sometimes? And animals, crops and animals. Specifically, care, cultivation, and breeding of crops and animals is husbandry. I think I knew that. Well, why don't they just call them farmers? He loved husbandry. Moreover, Uzziah had an host of fighting men that went out to war by bands, according to the number of their account, by the hand of Jeiel the scribe, and Maaseiah, I think I said that wrong, Maaseiah, the ruler, under the hand of Hananiah, one of the king's captains. The whole number of the chief of the fathers of the mighty men of valor were 2,600. That's not a very... Well, those are the chiefs. And under the hand was an army, 300,000 and 7,500, that made war with mighty power to help the king against the enemy. Before they separated, they had dang 1 million soldiers. Now he's only got 300,000. And Uzziah prepared for them throughout all the host of shields and spears and helmets and harbingers. That's like a halberd, right? It's like a spear. Habergeons. Habergeons. I can't say that word. Habergeons. You guys want to see a picture of a Habergeon? Habergeon. A medieval coat of mail. Oh, it's a chainmail coat. Do we got any pictures? That ain't mail. That's plate. That's plate. Oh, there's one. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Looking like a fish. You be looking like a fish. You wearing a habergeon. 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 Shutterstock. Habergeon. Harbergeon. Looking like a fish. Anyway, that's what a habergeon is. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's not plate, but it's not mail either. It's like scaled armor. And bows and slings to cast stones. He without sin cast the first stone. Good job, David. And he made in Jerusalem engines invented by cunning men. Engines? What? Wait, there's a G here. Ezekiel. It's pointing me to Ezekiel 26:9. That can't mean what I think it. That can't mean what. Hold on. We're getting the Strongs because there's no way they had cars in the Old Testament. Hold up. Engines. Engine, number 9. What verse is that? 15. 26:15. Engines. Let's go to the Strongs. A, B, C, D, E, F. Engines. Don't look it up. Don't spoil it. I know I could just Google it, but you know we like to look fancy. Engines. And he made it in Jerusalem. 2 Chronicles 26:15, 28:10, 28:10, 28:10, 28:10. 2724, 2790, 2810. Kishawbones. From contrivance, a warlike machine, a machination, an invention. So maybe like catapults, or I don't know, like a spike thing that the horses push, or camera's following me. Camera, you're supposed to only do that when I do this. You're not just supposed to randomly follow me whenever I'm using my hands to talk like a woman. War machines. He made war machines. Chishawbones. Wait, there's other words. Chishawbones. Wonder what type of war machines he was making. 2 Chronicles 26:15 engines. There's no 2 Chronicles artwork. No way. No way. That's AI. That's fake. What were Uzziah's machines? Okay. Ooh, one of these things. Look at this. One of these dang giant arrow shooters. Giant crossbow arrow, flexion powered. What is this called? An oxybellus? Arm de ballista. An oxybellus, an oxono. This is an oxono. Oxybellus. Oxybellus? Can you guys see it? No, don't do that. Welcome back. Is this Pinterest? Oh my goodness. Stop it. Or catapults. So basically war machines. Oh, one of these things to get over a wall? Yep. I don't know what that's called, but yeah. What is this? Or a battering ram, chains, pretty simple stuff. Okay, okay. I see what you're doing there, Uzziah. Making some dang war machines. Huh. Nice. Okay, cool. We got it. Just checking. When I see engines in the Old Testament, I gotta question it. Because that's pretty wild. Not gonna lie, you're good at the tone. Thank you. Okay, where are we? Da-da-da-da-da. Invented by cunning men to be on the towers and upon the bulwarks, to shoot arrows and great stones. I could have just kept reading. I always do that. I'm always like, what does this mean? And then I look it up, and then I read two more words, and it tells me exactly what it's talking about. It's catapults and oxobolos, or whatever they're called. Uh, and great stones withal, and his name spread far abroad, and he was marvelously helped till he was strong. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction, for he transgressed against the Lord his God, and went into the temple of the Lord to burn incense upon the altar of incense. And Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him 80 priests of the Lord, that's 80, that were valiant men. And they withstood Uzziah the king, and said unto him, It appertaineth not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto the Lord, but to the priests, the sons of Aaron, that are consecrated to burn incense. Go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed. Neither shall it be for thine honor from the Lord God. Yeah, the king don't get to burn the incense on the altar of incense. Only the priests do that. What are you doing, Uzziah? So even when it says they did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, they still mess up. So it's a reoccurring theme that even these guys that are David has a man after God's own heart, cheats on his wife with another man's wife, sends him to war to die, has a baby with her, baby gets killed, but he's still a man after God's own heart. Then Uzziah was wroth and had a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priests, the leprosy even rose up in his forehead before the priests in the house of the Lord from beside the incense altar. So he got angry in the temple because he's burning incense, and only the priests are supposed to do that. He got angry with the priests, starts yelling at him, and as he's yelling at him, leprosy just starts spreading on his forehead. That's wild. And Azariah the chief priest and all the priests looked upon him, and behold, he was leprous in his forehead. And they thrust him out from thence. Yea, himself hasted also to go out, because the Lord had smitten him. Smitted, they smited. Smiter no smiting. And Uzziah the king was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a several house, being a leper. Several house is the it's severed from the community, severed. It's basically an isolation, a quarantine house where they put all the lepers. Was cut off from the house of the Lord, and Jotham his son was over the king's house, judging the people of the land. Now the rest of the acts of Uzziah, first and last, did Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, write. So Uzziah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field of the burial, which belonged to the kings, for they said, He is a leper. And Jotham his son reigned in his stead. Chapter 27. Jotham was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Jerusha, the daughter of Zadok. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Uzziah did. Howbeit, he entered not into the temple of the Lord, and the people did yet corruptly. He built the high gate of the house of the Lord, and on the wall of Ophel he built much. Moreover, he built cities in the mountains of Judah, and in the forest he built castles and towers. He fought also with the king of the Amorites, and prevailed against them. And the children of Ammon gave him the same year 100 talents of silver, and 10,000 measures of wheat, and 10,000 of barley. So much did the children of Ammon pay unto him both the second year and the third. So Jotham became mighty because he prepared his ways before the Lord his God. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all his wars and his ways, lo, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. And Jotham slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Ahaz his son reigned in his stead. Dang, these are short chapters. We might get into Hezekiah today. We shall see. Let's just keep going. Chapter 8. Oh, 28. Chapter 28. Ahaz was 20 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, but he did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord, like David his father. For he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, and made also molten images for Baalim. Uh-oh. Never a good sign. No bueno. Moreover, he burnt incense in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and burnt his children in the fire. This guy sounds like a real jerk. Dang. What a jerk. He burnt his children in the fire. He passed his kids through the flame. That's no bueno. It's funny that look, burnt his children in the fire after the abominations of the heathen whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. He sacrificed also and burnt incense in the high places and on the hills and under every green tree. For some reason, you should have put that first, I feel like. I feel like burning incense in the high hills isn't quite as egregious as sacrificing your child in fire. You should have saved the kid for last and mentioned all the burning of the incense first. Then you mentioned that he burned his kids in fire. They say he burnt his kids, he passed his kids through the flames, and it's like he also burnt incense in the hills. Like, okay, well, I feel like that's not as big of a deal after you mentioned that he sacrificed his children to Baal. Wherefore the Lord his God delivered him into the hand of the king of Syria, and they smote him and carried away a great multitude of them captives and brought them to Damascus. And he was also delivered into the hand of the king of Israel, who smote him with a great slaughter. For Pekah, the son of Remaliah, slew in Judah 120,000 in one day. Dang! Which were all valiant men, because they had forsaken the Lord God of their fathers. And Zikri, a mighty man of Ephraim, slew Maaseiah, the king's son, and Azrikam, the governor of the house of Elkanah, that was next to the king. And the children of Israel carried away captive of their brethren 200,000 women, sons, and daughters, and took also away much spoil from them, and brought the spoil to Samaria. But a prophet of the Lord was there, whose name was Obed. And he went out before the hosts that came to Samaria, and said unto them, Behold, because the Lord God of your fathers was wroth with Judah, he hath delivered them into your hand, and ye have slain them in a rage that reacheth up into heaven. And now ye propose to keep under the children of Judah and Jerusalem for bondmen and bondwomen unto you. But are there not with you, even with you, sins against the Lord your God? Now hear me, therefore, and deliver the captives again, which ye have taken captive of your brethren. For the fierce wrath of the Lord is upon you. Then certain of the heads of the children of Ephraim, Azariah the son of Johanan, Berechiah the son of Meshillemoth, and Jehizekiah the son of Shallum, and Amasa the son of Hadlai, stood up against them that came from the war, and said unto them, Ye shall not bring in the captives hither. For whereas we have offended against the Lord already, ye intend to add more to our sins and to our trespass. For our trespass is great, and there is fierce wrath against Israel. So the armed men left the captives and the spoil before the princes and all the congregation. And the men which were expressed by name rose up and took the captives, and with the spoil clothed all that were naked among them, and arraigned them and shod them, and gave them to eat and to drink, and anointed them, and carried all the feeble of them upon asses, and brought them to Jericho, the city of palm trees, to their brethren. Then they returned to Samaria. Nice. See, they helped the slaves. They're not always mean to slaves. Sometimes they help them. M3? What's M3 mean? At that time did King Ahaz send unto the kings of Assyria to help him. For again the Edomites had come and smitten Judah and carried away captives. Uh-oh, Chris Terry's not going to like that. The dang white man came and smitten the black people. That's a joke for Hebrew Israelites. Of course, I don't think that the Edomites are white people. The Philistines also had invaded the cities of the low country and of the south of Judah, and had taken Bethshemesh and Ajalon and Gederoth and Shoko with villages thereof, and Timnah with the villages thereof, Gimzo also and the villages thereof, and they dwelt there. For the Lord brought Judah low because of Ahaz, king of Israel, for he made Judah naked and transgressed sore against the Lord. And, whoa, this is a Tilgath-Pilneser. Tilgath-Pilneser, king of Assyria, came unto him and distressed him, but strengthened him not. For Ahaz took away a portion out of the house of the Lord and out of the house of the king and of the princes, and gave it unto the king of Assyria, but he helped him not. And in the time of distress did he trespass yet more against the Lord. This is that King Ahaz. For he sacrificed unto the gods of Damascus, which smote him. And he said, because the gods, lowercase gods, of the kings of Syria helped him, therefore will I sacrifice to them, that they may help me. But they were the ruin of him and of all Israel. And Ahaz gathered together the vessels of the house of God, and cut in pieces the vessels of the house of God, and shut up the doors of the house of the Lord. And he made him altars in every corner of Jerusalem. Tisk, tisk. And in every several city of Judah he made high places to burn incense unto other gods, and provoked to anger the Lord God of his fathers. Now the rest of his acts and all his ways, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. And Ahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city, even in Jerusalem. But they brought him not into the sepulchres of the kings of Israel. And Hezekiah his son reigned in his stead. We're going to get to read about Hezekiah today. We already covered Hezekiah in 2 Kings, but sent them on asses to some area. Yes, that means donkeys. Marilyn, calm down. That means donkeys, okay? Asses. We've talked about this. If you get stuck on the word asses and being in the Bible, oh, you've just found the tip of the iceberg. There's way worse. Hezekiah began to reign when he was 25 years old, and he reigned 9 years. Hezekiah is the last righteous king of Israel, or of, I forget if he's king of Israel or Judah. Both. He's the last righteous one of both of these places. And 9 and 20 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Abijah, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David his father had done. He, in the first year of his reign, in the first month, opened the doors of the house of the Lord and repaired them. And he brought in the priests and the Levites, and gathered them together unto the east street, and said unto them, hear me, ye Levites, sanctify now yourselves, and sanctify the house of the Lord God of your fathers, and carry forth the filthiness out of the holy place. For our fathers have trespassed and done that which was evil in the eyes of the Lord our God, and have forsaken him, and have turned away their faces from the habitation of the Lord, and turned their backs. Also they have shut up the doors of the porch, and put out the lamps, and have not burned incense, nor offered burnt offerings in the holy place unto the God of Israel. Wherefore the wrath of the Lord was upon Judah and Jerusalem, and he hath delivered them to trouble, to astonishment, and to hissing, as ye with your eyes. For lo, our fathers have fallen by the sword, and our sons and our daughters and our wives are in captivity for this. Now it is in mine heart to make a covenant with the Lord God of Israel, that his fierce wrath may turn away from us. Good job, Hezekiah. My sons, be not now negligent, for the Lord hath chosen you to stand before him to serve him, and that ye should minister unto him and burn incense. That verse go hard. Where's my highlighter? That verse go hard. That is 29:11. My sons, be not now negligent, for the Lord hath chosen you to stand before him to serve him, and that ye should minister unto him and burn incense. Then the Levites arose, Mahath the son of Amasai, and Joel the son of Azariah, of the sons of the Kohathites, and the sons of Merari, Kish the son of Abdi, and Azariah the son of Jaheliel, and of the Gershonites, Joah the son of Zimmah, and Eden the son of Joah. And of the sons, we got begats. We got some begats here for, it's just two more verses. And of the sons of Elizaphan, Shimri and Jeiel, and of the sons of Asaph, Zechariah and Mattaniah. And of the sons of Heman, Jehiel, I think that's Haman, actually. And of the sons of Haman, but it's spelled Heman. Of the sons of Haman, Jehiel and Shimei, and of the sons of Jeduthun, Shemaiah and Uzziel. And they gathered their brethren and sanctified themselves, and came according to the commandment of the king by the words of the Lord, to cleanse the house of the Lord. And the priests went into the inner part of the house of the Lord to cleanse it, and brought out all the uncleanness that they found in the temple of the Lord into the court of the house of the Lord. And the Levites took it to carry it out abroad into the brook Kidron. Now they began on the first day of the first month to sanctify. And on the 8th day of the month came they to the porch of the Lord. So they sanctified the house of the Lord in 8 days. And in the 16th day of the first month they made an end. Then they went in to Hezekiah the king and said, We have cleansed all the house of the Lord, and the altar of burnt offering with all the vessels thereof, and the showbread table with all the vessels thereof. Moreover, all the vessels which King Ahaz in his reign did cast away in his transgression, have we prepared and sanctified, and behold, they are before the altar of the Lord. Then Hezekiah the king rose early and gathered the rulers of the city and went up to the house of the Lord. And they brought 7 bullocks and 7 rams and 7 lambs and 7 he-goats for a sin offering for the kingdom and for the sanctuary and for Judah. And he commanded the priests, the sons of Aaron, to offer them on the altar of the Lord. So they killed the bullocks, and the priests received the blood and sprinkled it on the altar. Likewise, when they had killed the rams, they sprinkled the blood upon the altar. They killed also the lambs, and they sprinkled the blood upon the altar. And they brought forth the he-goats for the sin offering before the king and the congregation, and they laid their hands upon them. And the priests killed them, and they made reconciliation with their blood upon the altar, to make an atonement for all Israel. For the king commanded that the burnt offering and the sin offering should be made for all of Israel. And he set the Levites in the house of the Lord with cymbals, with psalteries, and with harps, according to the commandment of David, and of Gad the king's seer, and Nathan the prophet. For so was the commandment of the Lord by his prophets. Gad and Nathan are still alive? How long do these guys live? These guys have been alive for a long... Well, I guess they're alive now. Doesn't mean that they were alive during the beginning of all of this. Of course, they weren't alive during Solomon. They just were the scribes who wrote the story. Because they're who scholars and theologians and whatnot would argue wrote 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings. If you're Orthodox, the 4 books of Kingdoms, and 1st and 2nd Chronicles. We guess, we don't know for sure, but we assume and we guess, we hypothesize that Nathan and Gad wrote Most of those books. Samuel probably wrote some of them too. They were not scared of death like we are today, so they didn't die early. What are you talking about? God limits life to 120 years after the flood. To this day, about 120 years is as long as you can expect to live. If you people, well, there's a woman alive right now who's 123 years old. And who's scared of death? What are you talking about? Ain't nobody scared of death. I already died. I can't die again. I heard you saying the other night Christians are a death cult. You know, I actually didn't totally disagree with everything you were saying. It's just the way you say it, and not your tone. I'm not tone policing. I'm just saying when you say Christians serve a death cult because they're afraid of death, that's nonsense. Christianity is about life. We have one time to die and one time to live. When you're reborn of the spirit, you've already died. So I don't fear death because I've already died. My body will drop one day, but that's not death. Some people would say that's a physical death, but one day my physical body is going to rise again. So, but when you say Christians serve a death cult, that's nonsense. Come on now, tighten up. All right. Where was I? Levites stood, command by the prophets. I think we're at 26. And the Levites stood with the instruments of David, and the priests with the trumpets. And Hezekiah commanded to offer the burnt offering upon the altar. And when the burnt offering began, the song of the Lord began also with the trumpets and with the instruments ordained by David, king of Israel. And all the congregation worshipped, and the singers sang, and the trumpeters sounded. And all this continued until the burnt offering was finished. And when they had made an end of offering, the king and all that were present with him bowed themselves and worshipped. Moreover, Hezekiah, the king of the princes, commanded the Levites to sing praise unto the Lord with the words of David and of Asaph the seer. And they sang praises with gladness, and they bowed their heads and worshipped. And this is why, although when I attend church, I do attend an Orthodox church because I like the seriousness of it compared to a lot of Protestant churches. But they're always knocking the Protestants for playing music and playing instruments and singing songs when they worship. It's kind of stated repeatedly throughout the Old Testament that they have psalteries, they have harps, they have trumpets, they have instruments, they sing songs. The words of the songs are listed. There's a whole book of the Bible called Psalms. Psalms are songs. David was a songwriter. So, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a band playing music and people singing songs and people worshiping that way. So, just for all the ortho bros out there, I get it. You like it. You like the chanting. I get it. I kind of like it too. But take it easy on the Protestants. It's not unbiblical to have musicians playing music and singers singing praise and people worshiping God that way. It's actually very biblical. So, but I mean, some of them don't really care what the Bible says. So, anyway, then Hezekiah answered and said, "Now ye have consecrated yourselves unto the Lord. Come near and bring sacrifices and thank offerings into the house of the Lord." And the congregation brought in sacrifices and thank offerings, and as many were of a free heart burnt offerings. A free heart. Ooh. I wonder what that means. I know some people will I'll have to look into that later. They prepared to die and believe it? No, not any Christians I know. I don't know any Christians who are afraid of death. We have the hope, and by hope I don't mean unsurety, but we have the hope of everlasting life. There's no reason to be afraid of death. I don't know any Christians who are afraid of death. I'm sure there are some, but that's not a doctrine. That's not a biblical thing for us to be afraid of death. That's not a teaching in any church, in any denomination. So you're kind of just pulling that out of your buttocks, Marilyn, because that's not true. The opposite of true. All right, 32. And the number of the burnt offerings which the congregation brought was 70 bullocks. That's 70. 100 rams and 200 lambs. All these were for a burnt offering to the Lord. And the consecrated things were 600 oxen and 3,000 sheep. But the priests were too few, so that they could not flay all the burnt offerings. Wherefore their brethren, the Levites, did help them till the work was ended, and until the other priests had sanctified themselves. For the Levites were more upright in heart to sanctify themselves than the priests. And also the burnt offerings were in abundance, with the fat of the peace offerings and the drink offerings for every burnt offering. So the service of the house of the Lord was set in order. And Hezekiah rejoiced, and all the people that God had prepared, the people, for the thing was done suddenly. What you doing, Echo? What time is it? It's only been like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. We might be able to bust out all of Second Chronicles today. Second Chronicles. Second Chronicles. How many more pages? We got 6 chapters left. I don't think we're going to get through it all today. The problem is, I don't want to only have 2 chapters left for tomorrow. Where should we stop? Maybe it was 30 is pretty long. So I usually go till about 12:30. But I could stop early today and watch some more Dexter. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Actually, I need to change the title and add Hezekiah if we're going to read all about Hezekiah. Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. Because Hezekiah is the most important of the 4. How do I spell this? Hezekiah. Yah. Cool. All right. Chapter 30. And Hezekiah sent to all Israel and Judah and wrote letters also to Ephraim and Manasseh, and that they should come to the house of the Lord at Jerusalem to keep the Passover unto the Lord God of Israel. For the king had taken counsel, and his princes and all the congregation in Jerusalem, to keep the Passover in the 2nd month. For they could not keep it at that time, because the priests had not sanctified themselves sufficiently. Neither had the people gathered themselves together in Jerusalem. And the thing pleased the king and all the congregation. So they established a decree to make a proclamation throughout all Israel, from Beersheba even to Dan, that they should come to keep the Passover unto the Lord God of Israel at Jerusalem. For they had not done it of a long time in such sort as it was written. They weren't keeping up with the Passover. That's a big no-no. You don't want to do that. Get this heavy book off my lap. Ugh. All right. As it was written, verse 6. So the posts went with the letters from the king. The mailmen. So the mailmen went with the letters from the king and his princes throughout all Israel and Judah, and according to the commandment of the king, saying, Ye children of Israel, turn again unto the Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. And he will return to the remnant of you that are escaped out of the hand of the kings of Assyria. It's interesting there that they put Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Usually they say Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which doesn't make sense, because why would they use Jacob's, what would you call this? His pre I don't know, his pre something name, because Abraham, that's his new name. But then Jacob, they use Jacob usually. They say Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which doesn't make sense because it says Abraham's new name, but Jacob's old name. So it should be Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, like it says here. Maybe just different writers. I don't know. This is what I was saying the other day, that Israel is not a place, it's a people. It's the people of Israel, and Israel is Jacob. The nation is the people group of Israel, of Jacob. The people of Jacob, the people of Israel, are Israel. It's not a place. And be not ye like your fathers and like your brethren, which trespassed against the Lord God of their fathers, who therefore gave them up to desolation, as ye see, the abomination of desolation. Now be ye not stiff-necked, stubborn, as your fathers were, but yield yourselves unto the Lord, and enter into this sanctuary, which he hath sanctified forever, and serve the Lord your God, that the fierceness of his wrath may turn away from you. For if ye turn again unto your Lord, your brethren and your children shall find compassion before them that lead them captive, so that they shall come again into this land. For the Lord your God is gracious and merciful, and will not turn away his face from you, if ye return unto him. That lead them captive. So the slaves will find compassion from their slave owners. Isn't that interesting? So the posts passed from city to city throughout the country of Ephraim and Manasseh, even unto Zebulun. But they laughed them to scorn and mocked them. Nevertheless, divers of Asher and Manasseh and of Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem. Divers does not mean scuba divers. Hey, thank you, Marilyn. I usually don't even grift on these streams on the Bible studies, but I do appreciate it. Nightbot grifts. I don't turn Nightbot off for these, but I usually don't ask for donos or do goals or anything like that when we do the Bible studies, because it's not about that. But I do appreciate it. Nightbot's always grifting. I can't stop Nightbot from grifting. Well, where's my... Yay! Oh, wrong thing. Wait till I get my money right. Thank you, Yay. Hit like or you're a black... He's Riz. Hit like or you're like Captain Tazariak. Where was I? Oh, I was saying, nevertheless, diverse... it's more like diverse of Asher and Manasseh and of Zebulun, but it's spelled divers. It's not talking about scuba divers. It's not Scuba Steve. It's talking about many different peoples. Nevertheless, diverse of Asher and Manasseh and of Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem. So a lot of them were mocking, but other groups, other people from different places came with them. But a lot of them were laughing and mocking. Those people were real jerks. Also in Judah, the hand of God was to give them one heart to do the commandment of the king and of the princes, by the word of the Lord. Sorry, I had a brain fart just now. And there assembled at Jerusalem much people to keep the feast of unleavened bread in the 2nd month, a very great congregation, Pasa. And they arose and took away the altars that were in Jerusalem, and all the altars for incense took they away, and cast them into the brook Kidron. Dude, this brook Kidron must be filled with bodies and altars and statues and idols and Dude, how many times have they torn down the temple or torn down the altars or torn down the idols or thrown dead bodies into the Brook Kidron? The Brook Kidron's overflowing with dang remnants and skeletons. This dang Brook Kidron, they're throwing everything in it. What is the Brook Kidron? It's a river, right? But the or a brook. But I wonder if it's like a metaphor for like a pit. What if it's a pit to hell? It would say the heart of the earth, or a pit to Sheol or Gashon or Gehenna. What is the Brook Kidron? Where is it on a map? Brook Kidron. It's like they've thrown so much stuff into the Brook Kidron, it's crazy. A seasonal stream and valley in Jerusalem, significant in the Bible as the site where kings destroyed idols, where King David fled Absalom, and where Jesus went with his disciples before his arrest and crucifixion. Thought he went to the Garden of Gethsemane. Is that near the Brook Kidron? It separates the Temple Mount from the Mount of Olives and is associated with graves, cleansing, and solemn abandonment, later prophesied to be made holy unto the Lord. Dude, this Brook Kidron got some dang fossils in it. I wonder if there's any archaeological discoveries found in the Brook Kidron. The Brook Kidron, how do you spell this? Archaeological site. Thank you, Google. Kidron Valley. The Kidron Valley, also called King's Valley or a brook in Scripture, is an ancient archaeological site located on the eastern edge of Jerusalem, known for its significant role in biblical history and for its many rock-cut tombs and burial chambers. It served as a royal cemetery, functioned as the boundary of ancient Jerusalem, and is mentioned in several biblical narratives, including figures such as King David, Jesus, and the final judgment of God. Kidron Valley, Jerusalem, a tour of Kidron Valley. I want to see if they found any old stuff in there. It says it's an archaeological site. Kidron Valley during the temple period. Let's find a short video or something. Hold on, I gotta change to my headphones. Some dang Hebrew music. It's 34 kilometers, so 34 kilometers, if I say it like that guy. So there's a lot of brook space to throw idols and altars, and not just idols and altars, though. Every time a bad king came and destroyed the temple, they would throw stuff from the temple into the Brook Kidron. And bodies. They threw bodies in there. They stacked bodies in the Brook Kidron. But I think most of the bodies they would have burnt at Gehenna. Wadi Anar. Oh, you guys can't hear it. My bad. You guys can't hear it. Should I restart it? Are you interested? Basically, all he said is it's 34 kilometers long and it's called Adi Hanar in Arabic. That's all he said so far. My bad.
In deserts feeds a long aqueduct built during the Hasmonean period.
You muted? I wasn't muted. The video was muted. Right? I'm not muted. I'm not muted. The video was muted. It's okay. All he said was it's 34 kilometers long, where it's located. You saw it on the screen. And then how to say it in Arabic. That's all he said so far. But here's some history. Muted? I'm not muted. I know I'm not muted. I see that I'm not. The video's muted.
This
It's the armpit of the earth? What?
aqueduct was built in the 1st or 2nd century BCE, which led floodwaters from the Kidron Brook to the Hyrcania fortress.
Water storage pools,
Throughout
aqueducts.
ancient history,
They had aqueducts back then? JS, I can't hear a thing. Yes, you can. Fast forward or something. You're behind.
the Kidron Brook had several essential roles in the daily life in Jerusalem, and I will mention some of them. Let's start with the fact that the Kidron Brook formed the
Why did the music just abruptly stop? Editor! Who's the editor on this? The music just like randomly cuts. Cut!
in the
Listen.
daily life in Jerusalem, and I will mention some of them. Let's start with the fact that the
Stop.
Kidron Brook formed the
And then there's a weird
eastern
cut.
border of Jerusalem. This can be learned from several events in the Bible. For example, when Absalom rebelled against his father King David.
This is not what I want to know. I want to know if they found any archaeological finds in there. I want to know if they found some dang idols, some statues, something in that dang brook.
And David ran away while leaving Jerusalem. The Kidron Brook is indicated as the city's boundary, as written in the 2nd book of Samuel, chapter 15. Another example, when King Solomon commands Shimi ben Gera not to leave Jerusalem due to Shimi ben Gera cursing King David during David's escape from Absalom, and I will just point out that Shimi's anger was probably due to the belief that David was guilty of killing Abner ben Ner. And just to remind ourselves, Abner was the head of King Saul's army. He also believed that King David was responsible
Was that Bathsheba's husband?
for killing of Ishbosheth, which was King Saul's son. King Solomon warns Shimi that if he will leave the boundaries of Jerusalem and cross the Kidron Brook, he will be killed, as written in the 1st book of Kings, chapter 2. And the last example, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, Kidron Brook is mentioned as one of the boundaries that symbolize the construction area of Jerusalem in the end of days. We are looking at the eastern side of the Kidron Brook, to Mount of Olives. Over the course of many generations, thousands of tombs, caves, and tombstones were added here. This is the
Wow. Look at this grave site. Are these all tombs? Yes. Holy moly. Well, if there was any archaeological dig sites there, they can't dig now. There's a bunch of tombs.
largest and oldest burial site among the burial sites in Jerusalem. The combination of the prophecy in the book of Joel, chapter 4, according to which in this place God will judge the nations at the end of days, and the proximity to the Temple Mount, made the valley here a sought-after burial site since the first temple period. The existence of the burial site east of the brook is a further proof that the Kidron Brook was the
Dude, if there's a physical resurrection in the end times, this place is going to be flooded.
eastern border of the city, since burial that time took place outside the city limit. The graves throughout ancient time were in location with steep slopes outside the city, as you can see here, again, just above the Kidron Brook. This is where the land could not be used for purposes such as residence or agriculture. And also it was better in places
Nice
with
flowers,
hard
though.
rock, so to ensure the preservation of tombs for a long time. Judah, who ruled since
Asa, we just read about him.
end of the 10th century BC, and so it is written in the 1st book of Kings, chapter 15.
Also in Chronicles.
This is also the case during the time of King Josiah, who reigned in Judea in the second half of the 7th century BC. And so
This is not answering the question that I have.
it is written in the 2nd book of Kings, chapter 23. The brook rolls are derived from its location on the eastern border of Jerusalem, close to the temple, but outside the city, close to the desert. It was used for purposes that are not possible in Jerusalem. For example, burial, exterminating idolatry, uses related to impurity, including removing the temple's waste into the brook. The waste originally sacred, which has become obsolete. In a sense, it is the opposite of the reality of God's worship and life in the temple. And therefore, those roles are occurring outside the temple, but in close proximity to it. The Kidron Brook route is on the border with the desert and flows into the Dead Sea. On one hand, the brook separates the
So maybe, actually, that kind of explains another. Well, they call it the Dead Sea because it was such high salt content that nothing could live in there. So there was no fish in the Dead Sea. I think the Dead Sea is pretty much dried up today, but you can still go out there and you can like lay in it. I know you can float on top of water if you fill your lungs with air, but in the Dead Sea, you could like blow out all your air and you would still float in the Dead Sea because the salt content is so high. And they call it the Dead Sea because nothing lives there. But another, maybe, I mean, I don't know that this is why they did this, but it would be interesting to call if they called it the Dead Sea because of all the bodies and burials that they did there and all the idols they threw into there. They would wash down the Brook Kidron into the Dead Sea. So the Dead Sea might be filled with dang demon altars.
city from the desert, yet at the same time, the brook connects the city to the desert by the fact that it is leading to it. On one hand, its roles are
Mod me, I need to use force doc to fix force doctrine. You need to use force doctrine to fix Maryland. You trying to demonstrate some authority over Maryland. Trying to do a little force doctrine on Maryland. Nah, we'll let her slide. She sent a super chat. She nice. She just a little I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna try to be nice. Don't catch me on a Saturday night, Maryland. I won't be so nice after I had a couple beers. Float easier. That's reasonable. Everything floats down here, Georgie.
symbol of impurity, diseases, and death. But the brook with its water makes it possible to maintain life, and not just life. I'm talking about life of purification in the holy city of Jerusalem. The Kidron Brook is one of the large drainage basins in the eastern part of Jerusalem, a city whose water source.
Okay, that would explain why maybe there's not a lot of archaeological finds there because they would have washed into the Dead Sea. Also, if they get to the Dead Sea, if the Dead Sea is such high salt content, it's safe to assume that the Brook Kidron probably also has high salt content. It's probably flowing from the Mediterranean into the Dead Sea, and something during that time condenses the salt, and then in that case, it would be very corrosive to things like brass, a flowing river. If they throw a rock idol in there 3,000 years later, there's not going to be anything left. It's just going to look like a rock. If they throw some sort of brazen altar into there, even gold is more malleable, so it would deteriorate quicker. High salt content and a flowing river, you're not going to find a lot of remnants, I would assume. But what do I know?
And water conveyance system to its storage pools were among the decisive factors that dictated the place of.
There's lots of Oh, that's interesting. Actually, so you're saying that the high salt content would preserve their body longer. If a body was in the Dead Sea, it would be preserved by the salt. You could eat it. Did you know in every cremation, there's a point where the meat is the perfect temperature? Sorry. I can't fix you. Only K2 can. K2 trying to fix everybody. I can fix anybody. Any lady, I can fix her. I can save her. All right. Enough of that. This guy's not telling me what I wanted to hear. I only like people who tell me what I want to hear. Where were we? Take the freaking headphones off. Where were we? I have no idea. Be not stiff-necked. Turn away. Brethren shall find compassion. The slave owners, princes, by the unleavened bread. They're doing the Passover. Levites stood in their place in the manner according to the law of Moses. Sprinkled in Levite, for there are many congregations who are sanctified. Chilling the Passover. Okay, here we are. Wait. Okay. 15. Into the brook Kidron. 15. And they killed the Passover on the 14th day of the second month. And the priests of the Levites were ashamed and sanctified themselves and brought in the burnt offerings into the house of the Lord. And they stood in their place after the manner according to the law of Moses, the man of God. The priest sprinkled the blood which they received of the hand of the Levites. For there were many in the congregation that were not sanctified. Therefore the Levites had the charge of killing of the Passover for every one that was not clean, to sanctify them unto the Lord. There were many in the congregation that were not sanctified. Therefore the Levites had the charge of killing of the Passover for every one of them that was not clean. So killing probably a lamb, firstborn lamb, for everyone that was not sanctified. For a multitude of the people, even many of Ephraim and Manasseh and Issachar and Zebulun, had not cleansed themselves. Yet did they eat the Passover otherwise than it was written. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, the good Lord pardon every one that prepareth his heart to seek God, the Lord God of his fathers, though he be not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary. So they let them eat the Passover, even though they were unclean. Interesting. And the Lord hearkened to Hezekiah and healed the people. And the children of Israel that were present at Jerusalem kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with great gladness. And the Levites and the priests praised the Lord day by day, singing with loud instruments unto the Lord. And Hezekiah spake comfortably unto all the Levites that taught the good knowledge of the Lord. And they did eat throughout the feast 7 days, offering peace offerings and making confession to the Lord God of their fathers. And the whole assembly took counsel to keep other 7 days, and they kept other 7 days with gladness. I don't know what that means. For Hezekiah, king of Judah, did give to the congregation 1,000 bullocks and 7,000 sheep, and the princes gave to the congregation 1,000 bullocks and 10,000 sheep, and a great number of priests sanctified themselves. And all the congregation of Judah, with the priests and the Levites, and all the congregation that came out of Israel, and the strangers that came out of the land of Israel, and that dwelt in Judah, rejoiced. So there was great joy in Jerusalem, for since the time of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, there was not the like in Jerusalem. This is the first time they've had a Passover feast in a long time. Let's go, Hezekiah. Unfortunately, you're the last good king, because the next couple of kings are going to get Israel jacked up, and Judah, both going to get conquered. One by Egypt and one by, or the battle of Megiddo. One's going to lose in the battle of Megiddo to Egypt, and then Babylon's going to come along, and Nebuchadnezzar's going to take you all as slaves. Foreshadowing. Then the priests, the Levites, arose and blessed the people, and their voice was heard, and their prayer came up to his holy dwelling place, even unto heaven. Now when all this was finished, all Israel that were present went out to the cities of Judah and brake the images in pieces and cut down the groves and threw down the high places and the altars out of all of Judah and Benjamin and Ephraim also and Manasseh, until they had utterly destroyed them all. Then all the children of Israel returned, every man to his possession and to their own cities. And Hezekiah appointed the courses of the priests and the Levites after their courses, every man according to his service. the priests and Levites for burnt offerings and for peace offerings, to minister and to give thanks and to praise in the gates of the tents of the Lord. He appointed also the king's portion of his substance for the burnt offerings, to wit, for the morning and the evening burnt offerings, and the burnt offerings for the Sabbaths, and for the new moons, and for the set feasts, as it is written in the law of the Lord. Moreover, he commanded the people that dwelt in Jerusalem to give the portion of the priests and the Levites, that they might be encouraged in the law of the Lord. Tithe to the priests. And as soon as the commandment came abroad, the children of Israel brought in abundance the first fruits of corn, wine, and oil, and honey, and of all the increase of the field. And the tithe of all things brought they in abundantly. The tithe of all things brought they in abundantly. And concerning the children of Israel and Judah, they dwelt in the cities of Judah. They also brought in the tithe of oxen and sheep, and the tithe of holy things which were consecrated unto the Lord their God, and laid them by heaps. In the 3rd month they began to lay the foundation of the heaps, and finished them in the 7th month. And when Hezekiah and the princes came and saw the heaps, they blessed the Lord and his people Israel. So Hezekiah is having a very profitable reign as king. They're rebuilding the storehouses and the store cities and the heaps of offerings and the tithe. The Passover's back. All the idols are taken down. Good job, Hezekiah. And Hezekiah questioned with the priests and the Levites concerning the heaps. And Azariah, the chief priest of the house of Zadok, answered him and said, since the people began to bring the offerings into the house of the Lord, we have had enough to eat and have left plenty. For the Lord hath blessed his people, and that which is left is this great store. Then Hezekiah commanded to prepare chambers in the house of the Lord, and they prepared them, and brought in the offerings and the tithes and the dedicated things faithfully, over which Conaniah the Levite was ruler, and Shimei his brother was the next. And Jehiel and Azaziah and Nathan and Asahel and Jeremoth and Jozabad and Eliel and Ismachiah and Mahath and Benaniah were overseers under the hand of Conaniah. And Shimei his brother at the commandment of Hezekiah the king, and Azariah the ruler of the house of God. And Korah the son of Imnah the Levite, the porter toward the east, was over the free will offerings of God, to distribute the oblations of the Lord and the most holy things. And next him were Eden and Miniamim and Jeshua and Shemaiah and Amariah and Shechaniah, and the cities of the priests in their set office, to give to their brethren by courses, as well to the great as to the small, beside their genealogy of males, from 3 years old and upward, even unto every one that entereth into the house of the Lord, his daily portion for their service, in their charges according to their courses. Their genealogy of males. I talked about this a bunch of times. I don't know when the Jews decided to become matrilineal and base it off of the genealogy of the mother, because that's not in the Torah. It's not in the Tanakh. It's not in any of the Old Testament, except for a little while during some bad kings. They start talking about mama. They get mama's nature. That's what happens when you have multiple wives. You start to become feminine and degenerate, and you start to base things off of mama instead of father. It becomes matrilineal instead of patrilineal, or matriarchal instead of patriarchal. And we see evidence of this. Both to their genealogy of the priests by the house of their fathers, and the Levites from 20 years old and upward, in their charges by their courses. And to the genealogy of all the little ones, their wives and their sons and their daughters, through all the congregation, for in their set office they sanctified themselves in holiness. Also of the sons of Aaron, the priests, which were in the fields of the suburbs of their cities, in every several city, the men that were expressed by name, to give portions to all the males among the priests, and to all that were reckoned by genealogies among the Levites. And thus did Hezekiah throughout all Judah, and wrought that which was good and right and truth before the Lord his God. And in every work that he began in the service of the house of God, and in the law and in the commandments to seek his God, he did it with all his heart and prospered. That verse go hard. I'm highlighting that. And in every work that he began in the service of the house of God, and in the law and in the commandments to seek his God, he did it with all his heart and prospered. Based. I think we're going to stop there because we're at 32 and there's only 36 books in Second Chronicles. And I need something to read tomorrow. So we just have 4 chapters tomorrow. And then we'll be done with Second Chronicles. We'll be done with that means we finished the Torah. We finished the history lessons of the history of the monarch of Israel and Judah. And we get to move on to the books of the prophets and the books of wisdom, which of the whole Bible, the books of the prophets being Ezra, Nehemiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Hosea, Amos, Obadiah, Joel, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Malachi. Those are the books that I've read the least. You know, I've never actually read all of those books from beginning to end. So it's going to be new territory for me. Now, that doesn't mean I don't know them. I've studied them and I've studied snippets and sections. There's a lot of my favorite verses are in Amos. Like Amos 3:3, how can two who aren't agreed walk together? There's some other stuff in Amos that I really like. So I've read little bits of all of. I've read Nehemiah on stream. We did a breakdown of Nehemiah. We did a breakdown of Jonah. I know well. Job. I know well. But some of the other ones, what they call the minor prophets. Some people get mad when you say that. We've read Isaiah, a big chunk of Isaiah on stream, but a lot of those I really don't know a whole lot about them, except for little verses here and there that I've seen and basic outlines of what they're about. So it'll be, I'll be learning along with you guys. Whereas a lot of this stuff I've already studied for my whole life, but Psalms and Proverbs, I got certificates for those. And then once we get the New Testament, I know the New Testament pretty well, but it's been a while since I've gone through the New Testament, so I'll be refreshing my memory. But these books of the prophets, I'm going to be learning a lot. So none of our prophets are minor. See, I knew somebody was going to say that. And it's not just the Hebrew Israelite. I've said that before and people get offended by it. That's just what the major prophets are, the big ones. Isaiah, Jeremiah. The minor prophets are the small little 3-page books. So they just call them the minor prophets because they're small books compared to big. Instead of 64 chapters in Isaiah, you might have 10 chapters in Nehemiah or Ezra. It's like 3 pages. It's not saying that they're less important. Some people struggle with words. Dealing with mostly Americans, you guys are mostly, in my experience, stepdad people. Americans, you guys are mostly, in my experience, stepdad people. My nephew's stepdad is a way better dad than my brother. My nephew's stepdad is a way better dad than. Wait, you're saying that stepdads are better dads in America? How is it that you can play video games for 24 hours but can't find time to debate me for 2 hours? I've never played a video game for 24 hours consistently in my life. It's never happened. In fact, on Saturday night, I streamed for 15 hours. I played video games for 2 hours of that stream. You just happened to get there when I was playing a video game. I wasn't playing video games all night, genius. And I've explained to you many times, Chris, if you want, every now and then I might take a call while I'm doing this, but I have a job. I have a job. I work at nights. So I am tired right now. I've been up all night working, and I'm about to go to bed and sleep, and then I'm going to wake up and go back to work. So when I do these morning streams, they're just short streams. Read the Bible, talk about it a little bit, go to bed. I've told you over and over and over again, Friday or Saturday night, I stream all night. I usually do about 30 hours between Friday and Saturday. So there's two 15-hour streams, and you can call in and join the Discord whenever you'd like. If you're scared to join because other people are on the panel, let me know, and we can go into a separate room and I'll talk to just you. You were in the chat the other day while there was an open panel going on. You're in my Discord. You know how to join the panel. There was an open panel, and I was talking with Freddie, the comedic guy, about Egypt, about Egyptology, and how the Bible ties in with Egypt. You could have joined, and we could have had our little three-way debate right then. Hebrew Israelite versus comedic versus Christian. But you were scared. So don't run your little chat fingers when you ain't saying nothing. Nobody's scared of you. VK After Hours, W. I had a famous local artist who wanted me to join his cult. He wanted with a bunch of wives. He fried my brain and made me realize I'm God. I'm not surprised by that at all. I try not to date white guys now. I'm doing better. Oh, good luck. I hope you find you a nice black guy. I hope he doesn't, beat you and then leave you alone after you have some kids with him when he runs to the store to get some Newports. Good luck with that, Marilyn. I guess you haven't read Ezra or Nehemiah. You should read Nehemiah, Marilyn. K2 rides in other men's truck beds. Hello, Shazzy. Weird. Wow. We have a word for that. It rhymes with blood shark. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube. I'll probably be back. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm going to be going. You got here late, Shazzy. I'm ending the stream. Chris Terry, you couldn't terrorize me if you wanted to. Stop being scared and join the panel this Saturday night. Saturday night, join the panel, and we could argue for 10 hours straight. But there's going to be other people there, and I'm not going to let you dominate the panel for 10 hours or try to dominate the panel. But I'm sure a lot of people on the panel would love to talk to a Hebrew Israelite. So we could start it just me and you one-on-one for like an hour. And then we can go into the open panel and other people can come and ask you questions. And, but you're not going to do that. Just got back from the hospital. Well, I hope everything's all right. You don't got to give us any details in the chat, but I wish you, oh yeah, your son. I wish you and your son well. You know, God bless you guys. Echo's passed out over there. I hope everything goes well with that, Shazzy. But now everybody's showing up when I'm leaving the stream. It's 11:30. We got some time left. I probably could have finished 2nd Chronicles today. There's only 4 chapters left. We have an hour left. Should I just knock it out today? Or maybe we can find like a video or something. Christianity is stupid. Atheism is not stupid. Wow, that's a clever title. That's a title only an atheist could come up with. Minneapolis church shooting. Live breaking news. Minneapolis church shooting. I mean, that's kind of Bible study related, right? A church shooting? I don't know. Usually we don't do news and politics on this show, but that is kind of relevant to Christianity. And go to bed and get your rest. Should I do that? Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. But I do want to, I'm just going to check in on this for a minute.
Again, I believe this was uploaded to that channel, and this is where, see if you notice some stickers, symbolism, language.
Is this the manifesto?
A Ruger schematic?
Defend.
How, I can't even read that. What? To... Is it backwards? Flip it over. Then went all we are. What the heck?
And equality right there. Bitch. It's an AK.
He's got an AK on a rainbow. On a, well, this is not, this is the intersectional, what do they call it? The intersectional awareness flag or something like that. They call it some weird name. KMFOM. What does that stand for? Got a little demon here.
Okay, and also where's the hash, which would seem to indicate someone who very into
pothead,
psychotropic drugs. What do we say?
Fuck you. Break it, die.
Okay, and then I believe we have one more where he is showing, and this is why we feel relatively confident, because this tip was sent in to us. We verified some of it. This was uploaded several hours ago.
John moved far away and they're operating tomorrow. Go to bed, dude. John, they also told me his right lung is not good. So tomorrow I'll know for sure. We'll pray for Shazzy's son, everybody. Update them. Q pewed a Catholic school on her belt. It said delete Donald Trump using TOS friendly words. Update them. Q pewed a Catholic school on her belt. I don't know what that means. K2. Speak English.
Ago, so it seems like it would have been a scheduled upload. Obviously, it includes the image of the church. Obviously, there's a lot of writing in there which we are looking to translate. It would have been a lot of work to create this afterward as a hoax, as well as the smoke bomb, because maybe we could grab that clip the police chief did say they didn't find any explosive devices, but there was something like a smoke bomb, which again we were able to confirm. You see a smoke bomb. Don't know if it's the smoke bomb.
He described it as like a smoke firework too, so not what you would think is a typical smoke bomb with a pin and a canister, something that you could buy at a fireworks stand.
Right.
Which,
there you go.
Yeah.
In one of these videos, again on a channel that is nuked, so we've been doing everything we can to scrape that and find some sources that can get us any information that has since been deleted. So that smoke bomb there.
Thank you, Bill. And
here is, just so I can catch everybody up, and I appreciate everyone bearing with us who's already been there on the previous stream on Rumble, the video where he's showing his weapons, ammunition, noodles. I believe that you have that at the ready. Please show it.
This one's for me, in case I need it.
Does he have a British accent? Finger on the trigger.
That's either an old Model 10 or...
Oh, wow. You can't... Oh, man.
Is it an old
putting it
Taurus 85?
Put it in his mouth there.
Smoke. Extra thick.
It says J-gas. It says J-gas. J-E-W. Gas.
Oh, it does have a pin, yeah.
Shit, motherfucker. Koshmar.
Nuke India?
As a murderer.
An upside down cross.
For the win, no remorse.
Israel must fall.
It's F the world, I think.
Like a phoenix.
Oh, it was F the world? I thought it was for the win.
It's for the win or it's F the world. I don't think he means for the win. I think he means F the world.
My apologies.
It's both.
Freedom. Nerdy, but Baruch Kazad is take up your axes.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this where did we see the Israel or Jews?
It said it multiple times. It said Israel must fall on the barrel of the shotgun, and it said J gas on the gas thing. This is crazy. Do you hear this guy like whispering? He's like, yes, I always loaded, yes. This is a demon. This is a demon. This is what evil looks like. This is what a demon looks like. I don't even see it. Humanity is overrated. And there's like code writing. He's like writing in code.
That was earlier on one of the first guns.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also on the smoke bomb.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
Jew gas.
I think I have some separate imagery as well.
Yeah.
If we need it.
Okay.
Do you believe in God? Ted Kaczynski, I'm guessing. Koyanis. I shouldn't say these words that are in other languages because I don't know what they mean. Shazzy, thank you. Hey, you need to save your money. I'm sure that what you're going through is expensive, but thank you. I appreciate it. This is crazy. I know this is not, we usually don't cover news and politics in the Bible study, but if this dude attacked a Catholic school, well, I can show you what evil looks like. I can show you what demon possession looks like. So I guess it kind of, but this is breaking news, so, and I do cover the news, so.
Well, at least we can get along with that one.
Kill pedos.
Well, you're here.
Thank you, Shazzy. He had an upside down cross on the barrel there.
Now, I would also have to ask if he spent all this time.
And people will say that's St. Peter's cross. No, that's demonic symbolism. Because when I remember Bryson and Tyson were calling out Tom McDonald because he had an upside down cross, and all these Christians were like, "Well, it's St. Peter's cross. It's St. Peter's cross." Man, maybe, but that's not what people mean when they have an upside down cross tattooed on them. That one freaking that Kells weirdo chick, when she was doing that debate and she was drawing upside down crosses on her face, they're not meaning it to represent St. Peter. They're meaning it to deface, they're inverting Christianity. It's demons. Find the picture of the belt that says delete Donald Trump. They might show it.
The Sharpie putting that on his rifle, where are the parents? Because that's not something that happens accidentally. If this person, I don't know if this person, what age this person is, who's around him. These would be signs that you could spot. Yes, Gerald, it looks like you're raising your hand.
It's kind of something that our team is digging through right now in the manifesto, that he's kind of flipping through the pages that look like Cyrillic. It's kind of a mishmash, but right there.
Cyrillic? Yeah, I can't read this. Cyrillic. So this is actually a language, because he sounded like British, but then he sounded like Middle Eastern. He's like, yes, oh yes, oh. Cyrillic. What is Cyrillic? I don't even know what language that is. Cyrillic, denoting the alphabet used by many Slavic peoples. He did have something on there that looked like some Ukrainian stuff. Chiefly those with a historical allegiance to the Orthodox Church, ultimately derived from Greek unkiles. It is now used for Russian, Bulgarian, Serbian, Ukrainian, and some other Slavic languages. Yeah, he did sound Eastern European. At first, he sounded a little bit like an English accent. But then as I kept hearing him, and he's like, oh, yes, yes. He sounded Eastern European, or he sounded like Russian, Ukrainian. So, and he's writing in what looks like Cyrillic. Arjak siert cum sum vat ibern. I'm looking at Cyrillic right here. Yeah, a lot of X's. Nit, Blampekos, Sikir, Wiltbeer. I don't know how to. School shooting. Where is this kid from? Minneapolis. That's a sanctuary city. That's where they got little Somalia.
There we have kind of the phonetic for school shooting written in Cyrillic.
Okay.
On one of the pages, and we've highlighted and popped it out there. So what we're really trying to look for too, and I've talked to the team, is any kind of indication of what the motivation was. I'm seeing a lot of different stuff, and I'll approach this very delicately.
Can I just really quickly touch on that? And then please continue. Mm-hmm. We were trying to put this through some type of translation, and it seems like Cyrillic words used, but maybe it would seem at this point maybe someone is actually English who tried to write it in that language, which again would seem like it's trying to throw you off the scent. Like maybe just someone just copied down English words in Cyrillic so it doesn't actually translate. And listening to this person, it seems like they're English speaking. Again, I don't know, they could be bilingual. It seems like someone, by the way, who is using hip hop lingo, and even then, and if it's Russia, they're not as.
They're like, yeah, it's totally, because it sounded British, but they're using like, I don't know. This is crazy. What is it? Let me look at it like just a basic news report real quick from Fox.
And Dana, I will take it over from here on this.
How many victims?
Breaking news, just a heartbreaking day in Minneapolis. We are watching live pictures here from that city where police are at the scene of a shooting at a Catholic school in that city. Minnesota's governor says that they are investigating a horrific act of violence, and local and federal officials are all over this scene right now. You can see their parents, too, waiting to be reunited with their kids. Just a sick, sick moment to watch here. I'm Aisha Hasni in for Harris today. today, and this is the Faulkner Focus. The city of Minneapolis said the shooter is now contained and that there is no active threat to the community any longer. Here's some, we got some brand
Contained, so he didn't off himself, and he wasn't deleted by officer. How many victims are there?
new sound from witnesses in just a moment here that are describing just how panicked
How long ago did this happen?
a scene that has been. The president has also been briefed. He just posted on Truth Social that he has been fully briefed on the tragic shooting in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. The FBI quickly responded, and they are on the scene. The White House will continue to monitor this terrible situation. Please join me in praying for everyone involved. And we do have that witness sound now that we want to play for you here.
So all the parents were on the left side, and so he was on the left side. So there must have been sporadic gunfire going on.
CNN is saying two killed and 17 injured. AP is saying 3 dead. 2 children aged 8 and 10. So he had all that artillery. Like, thank God that this person sucks so bad at life that they can't even destroy children well. Like, this could have been way, way worse. Now, it's still horrible. There's two children gone because of this dirtbag. Dude, cops should have just dispatched him. They, them, whatever the heck he is. I don't even know. I'm sure by Monday we're going to have a lot of updates on this and talk about it more on the Monday show.
He said it looked like just a normal Sunday mass. So it was full, of people and children. So.
And how did he get out?
He just ran, when this fire, he said it seemed like it went on for eternity, but when it stopped, he ran out of the building.
When did you first hear about this?
So we live about 2 blocks from here. I was on a call. All the windows of our home were open. I know what gunfire sounds like, and I could tell. I was shocked. I said, "There's no way that could be gunfire." There was so much of it. So it was sporadic. So it was a semi-automatic. It seemed like a rifle.
A lot of gunfire there, according to that witness. Let's go now.
But he didn't answer the question.
A correspondent.
Or they cut before they let him answer the question.
CB Cotton, she's got the latest. CB, do we know anything about victims?
Hey, Aisha, well, we're continuing to learn more details about this disturbing, heartbreaking tragedy on the first week of school for students at Annunciation Catholic School in South Minneapolis. Before we get into details surrounding this, I just want to go over the reaction. Governor Tim Walz writing, quote, on X early this morning,
Governor Tim Walz, that idiot. 17 others, including 14 children, were injured, 2 dead. The gunman died at the scene. So Fox, I don't know what this report is from 10:02 Central Time. Right now it's 11. So this happened within the past 2 hours. This just happened. Or at least this is when this Fox report is from. 11:30 a.m. This news story just came out 15 minutes ago. This came out 40 minutes ago, this video from Fox. Crowder's live right now talking about it. So this happened within the last 2 hours. But they said on Fox 40 minutes ago, the shooter is contained. But ABC is saying the shooter is dead. 2 children in critical condition. The gunman died at the scene from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The mass shooting unfolded just before 8:30 a.m. 8:30 a.m. What time zone? Central time? Okay, so it actually happened. It happened 2 hours ago.
Briefed on a shooting at Annunciation Catholic School, and will continue to provide updates as we get more information. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and State Patrol are on scene. I'm praying for our kids and teachers whose first week of school was marred by this horrific act of violence.
School just started. Wow.
So I share reports about the shooting first came in just before 8:30 a.m. local time. Our Fox affiliate in Minneapolis
8:30 a.m. local time. Minneapolis is Central Time, I think.
Reports the Annunciation Catholic School has students for kindergartners through 8th graders, and the school.
Is Crowder still alive?
Masculine. You know, aggressive, risk-taking, authoritative, exhibits strong leadership qualities, is more likely or less likely, if you're going to select a group of people, which one would you say is most unlikely to sign off, encourage, transition their minor? Okay, you've answered. Now let me ask you this. Looking at the numbers, looking at the demographics, looking at the LGBTQAIP policy, would you say that a middle-class white woman in comparison...
The gatekeepers want you to homeschool? You should want to homeschool. There's no gatekeepers. Anybody who's not a moron would want to homeschool. The only people who want to homeschool are women who don't want to raise their kids. I understand that some people can't because of the way society is. They can't afford to do it because both parents have to work to pay the bills. So they have to put their kid in a public school or any school. But I do homeschool. Then why are you saying the gatekeepers want you to homeschool? You want to homeschool. Homeschooling is the right way to go. You know who doesn't want you to homeschool? Communists. Marxists. Communist Manifesto says that Marx and Engels wanted to abolish homeschooling.
Comparison to a traditional father in a nuclear family is more likely or less likely to sign off on transitioning their child because
these shooters are you don't know that. You're just typing now. We don't know that. Maybe some of them, it's possible. Yeah, it's likely. Maybe they're MK Ultra. Maybe they're just disturbed people. Maybe they're demon possessed. But to just say every school shooter is a Fed is kind of low IQ.
It's nice. Let's be honest about what we're dealing with. Would you think that someone in the church, I don't know exactly the doctrine of this church, can someone let me know?
It's Catholic.
Is more likely or less likely, if it's a man in a traditional Orthodox Baptist Catholic church, to say, no, we don't do that. We don't advocate for transitioning. As a matter of fact, if that's your belief, it's antithetical to our theology, and you can't serve or volunteer. You can attend, but you can't be in a position of leadership. Do you believe that a man is more likely to, in love, deliver that speech to said person, or less likely? Do you believe that there's an influence of liberalism, of progressivism, of feminism, that a woman in a position of authority is more or less likely to say, oh, whatever, yeah, that's fine. There are many paths to God. Not everything is nuanced. We need a little more black and white. We need a little more right and wrong.
Facts. I'm so sick of hearing about the gray area. More like the gay area.
Otherwise, how do you end up with someone serving in a church transitioning their child? We were told, just to give you an idea, before you get to the idea of Christian and non-Christian, Secular society told us that it was a fallacy, that there was a straw man, it was a red herring. All the fallacies they could trump up. When we said, hey, hold on a second, where does this whole gender extravaganza end? Would we transition children? That's the fear-mongering, slippery slope again. No one's coming for your children, right? That's secular society. That's the Democrat Party only a few years ago. Now you have women in positions of leadership or volunteer in church, transitioning children. See how far we've gotten? And what's your most important safeguard against it? Something that is in very short supply. Strong men. And I don't mean strong being able to lift a truck in some Nordic country. I don't mean strong being able to crush a beer can on their head. I mean strong being able to say, no. As for me and my house, we don't do that.
We will serve.
We're not going to condone it. We're not going to support it. And we're going to caution against it. Secular society. No one's ever coming for your kids. 2022, was it? 21? Church mom.
What did he say about multiple paths to God?
But it's nice.
So there's also a review of the church that I believe was 2 years ago. So that would have been 2023. The highlighted part is they have gone through some interesting priests. The last one I saw, 2020, definitely did not fit Minneapolis, homophobic and such. So basically saying that the church, was teaching the church doctrine or.
So they had a based priest at that church, a real priest at that church, and the people in Minneapolis didn't like it because they have tampons in the boys' bathroom in Minneapolis. Thanks, Tim Waltz. They have little Somalia down the street.
According to the Roman Catholic Church, homosexuality is a sin.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong there, but it is clear in the Bible, so I assume you guys got that one right. Let me go.
Doesn't really matter who the priest is, though, if the people who are serving the church, right? If everyone else is, but he's traditional. We let you do whatever. It's okay.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I want to just to credit Mug Club Undercover. They've been working on some of the translation here, and our team out there. You guys are doing a great job, so please keep going. I'm going to try to do this is leave that up. Mm-hmm. So that very top, the KTO backwards R essentially. So who am I? And then the next line, who is this meeting? The next two. The next line, help me, exclamation point. The next line, I don't want to. And then the next line, repeated, kill yourself. Multiple times at the bottom down there, if you can see that.
And it's him with a gun strapped on his back, looking into a mirror with a demon.
That's the translation that we have for right now.
Yeah, looking at that top one, go back to that top one, the top word, if you can, Noodles, zoom in on the top word.
The who am I? The
I just thought they were a fan of corn.
Well,
they might be P.D. Pablo fans.
Yeah, it could be.
Who am I?
Next page is just a bunch of Papa Roach lyrics. Like, oh, well, that doesn't help.
Yeah, the scars aren't going to remind you of anything anymore, are they?
Oh gosh, what a piece of shit. I'm not going to be nice. What a piece of shit who should be burning in hell.
Nice.
Yeah, should be burning in hell. And a special seat reserved for you, Mom.
So I've got guys, do me a favor on that. So we ran an entire page.
Wonder what's up with the mom. Was the mom transitioning him?
Through ChatGPT. We're going to be able to post it for you guys, but I don't know if you want to just want me to read the whole page or have them highlight anything, but I can give you, it's already posted on the account. Sorry. Yeah. You want me to just read it?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and bring that up. I spend so much time staring at the mirror, and when I do, I see something staring back at me. Short, haunting glimpses. I hate that monster. I hate what I've become. I wish I was someone else. I wish I had never been born. And soon that wish will come true. I'm locked into this mission now. I can't turn back. I have to leave my mark on this world. I can't let the world crush me. I'll fight back and cause damage before I let life beat me. I want to die, but I can't find peace. So F you, all of you. I wonder, will the news report my attack? Will the school system even acknowledge it? This isn't religion. It isn't politics. There's no message. That's the message. There is no message. I do this for chaos, for pain, to ruin lives. F you. I'm going to kill so many kids. I want the surprise, the shock. They play training videos, pretend they're ready for an active shooter, but when the time comes, they won't be ready. Sure, some might fight back. Maybe even a few fourth graders swarm me, try to tackle me. Fine. That'll be funny. Even more deaths, even more chaos. I don't want to be here. I keep numbing.
This person's such a loser. They go to like an elementary school and they only get 2. They only get 2 kids, which that sounds horrible. I'm not saying that it's, you know, it's still horrible that 2 kids died, but I'm saying like you didn't even accomplish this accomplishment. What I'm trying to say, I should just stop. I sound like it doesn't sound good what I'm saying, but I guess, this is just crazy.
Myself with violent videos, with gore, but it's never enough. I still crave more. I crave violence. I want to hurt people. Tomorrow is my last day at work. After that, the charade of pretending ends. I've read posts, studied it all. I've seen blood trails, brain matter, and I want to see it for myself. I want to spill my...
Like I'm saying, this person's goal was probably to kill like 20, 30 people. You got 2. You suck at everything that you've ever done in life. Damn.
My own. I love the thought of it. The spasms, the scratching, the end. I'm sick. I know it. I don't care. Soon I'll spill blood and leave this painful earth behind. And no, there's no afterlife, no heaven, no hell. We're just meat, just dirt. Ashes to...
This is when I wish that this person wouldn't have offed themselves. I wish we would have arrested this person and then put them in prison, put them in Gen Pop, and let them deal with that for a while. And then if they manage to survive Gen Pop for like 5 years, then we give them the worst death penalty possible. No lethal injection, either electric chair with a dry sponge, like Green Mile style, or firing squad with no hood on their head. Or I think the way we should do it is we should throw them out of a helicopter and just let them think about what they did the whole way down. They're just free fall. Or an airplane. Drop them out of an airplane and let them have a 5-minute free fall until they smack into the ground. That's how I think we should do it.
Ashes, dust to dust.
Later, Marilyn. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Put the bell on. Subscribe. Yeah, I gotta stop watching this. Once there's more details come out, we're definitely we'll go into this on Monday night on the Dreaded Conservative Show, and we'll look deeper in all this. Once he's done reading this, I'm gonna cut it.
Subhuman. I am dirt. Born to shoot, forced to shoot. I'm tired of my life, tired of pretending to live up to humanity's standards. Nobody escapes this world, not really, so I won't play along anymore. I'll do what I've wanted to do for so long. I won't put up with this any longer. Chaos, pain, trauma, heartbreak. Shoot the school, kill the neighbor, kill anyone. Who cares? Who gives an F? Life isn't worth living. I wish I was never born. Soon my own blood will prove that about me, but not soon enough. Until then, more deaths, more stupid deaths.
Yeah. And here's the thing, they can say it's not about politics. They can say there is no, that is the message. Yeah, message heard loud and clear.
If it's not about religion, it's not about politics, then why'd you do it where you did it?
Oh, it is.
But you're a demon-possessed transgender who shot up a Catholic school.
It is. It is. This person doesn't. That's the point I'm making, is message heard loud and clear. You're godless, purposeless, and you've been sold, like many kids, like an entire generation of people, a false bill of goods that you will find that purpose. You will find that fulfillment. Just a few more hormones. Just a name change. Just being gendered correct. You're miserable because you couldn't take a dump at a Target. You're miserable because you couldn't have someone refer to you as the gender that you preferred. You're miserable once you change your name. You're miserable because you're barely passable. Let's make you passable. Instead of someone going, hey. All of us have a purpose. You're fearfully and wonderfully created, and your life isn't your own. You want to know the power of social conditioning, or the power of of some kind of moral anchor. Compare the approach in war historically of Western Christendom to, for example, the Japanese. They didn't value human life the same way. That's why you had people who were willing to die, kamikaze, people who were, because honor, what was most important, it was so ingrained in them when they were young, that some people would kill themselves at the first slight. Now, I'm not judging Japanese culture. What I'm saying is that we don't do that. That seems so foreign to us in the United States of America, in Western civilization. Why? Because we start off with, by the way, you are fearfully and wonderfully created. You are a mirror image of God, and your life is not your own. Human life is sacred. The same thing that says, hey, don't kill those babies. It's the same foundational worldview that says, yeah, you can't take your own life. But the same society, the secular humanist society, that says abortion up until and including 9.
Oh my gosh, they're interviewing some Muslim at the Catholic school shooting. Great.
Months, taxpayer-funded period, is the same society, Canada, a lost and conquered people, who say, yeah, euthanasia.
Some Muslim lady with a nose ring.
You don't want to. Do whatever you want. It's your life, and we'll pay for it. Oh, sure. No, sex, not just gender. Now they use the term sex, too. It's interchangeable. It's a social construct. Whatever you want. And then we say, who is it hurting?
Is that Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib or one of them squad ladies?
Everyone. Everyone. I'm not just talking about the shooting. Everyone. It is a brokenness and a soullessness, a godlessness. It is a hole in the soul of a civilization that required that God-shaped hole to be filled to begin with. That's kind of a big reason that we're a country. You can say, who does it hurt? Well, you drag people a little bit away from the idea that they were created for something. The idea that we all have duties. The idea that there's right and wrong. The idea, by the way,
that is Ilhan Omar,
that there is a consequence for our actions.
Yeah, it is Ilhan Omar. I said some Muslim lady with a nose ring. Sure enough, it's Ilhan Omar. The lady who married her brother to sneak him into America.
Above our own earthly authority. You know, heaven and hell. Seems like this person.
Some people did something. Ilhan, did somebody do something today? Why? Who wants to hear from this freaking lady?
There is no heaven and hell. Seem like this person believed the secular life. No, yeah, there's no meaning to life. It's the earthly.
She's probably going to laugh about this later.
Pursuit of pleasures, and I've run out of them. Because it turns out, whether it's, by the way, rings pretty hollow, and it doesn't mean all that much. It's very temporary. Only now you have a permanent wound or endocrine damage that you can't correct.
All right, I can't watch this. I got to get some sleep. We'll probably end up talking about this this weekend, either Friday or Saturday night. Definitely I'll cover more of it once we get more details on Monday night on the Dreaded Conservative Show. But we usually don't cover stuff like that in the Bible study. So if this is your first time here for the morning Bible study, it's usually more upbeat. If you rewind and watch from the beginning, we were having fun. It was a good show. Then I saw this as I was getting ready to sign off, and I just wanted to check in and see it. And you know, we're doing a Bible study. We talk about all sorts of theology and religions, and this happened at a Catholic school, so you know it's kind of relevant to what we talk about here. And that's an image of evil, so, and of demons of the world. And so we talk about that a lot while we read this book. So it is kind of relevant to the morning Bible study, but we will look more into all the details on Monday night. I got to get some sleep, guys. Thank you for hanging out. God bless you. There's only 4 people, so I'm not going to raid anybody. Unless there's like, maybe if Angry Conservative is on or somebody with a small channel. I'll send you guys over there. Let me see. Yeah, I think Rob Noor's covering it right now. Anchor Baby. Yeah. Nah. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you tomorrow morning. God bless everybody. We out. Peace.